What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's week 10 in the NFL. We're going to be covering some NFL game lines, the betting lines, and kind of go over some picks of what we think is going to happen tomorrow, who's going to win these games. This is not my betting advice. I do videos all the time where I give out free picks. This is just kind of projecting what's going to happen and giving you guys the info on the betting lines as they stand at about 3 o'clock Mountain Time on Saturday, November 9th. First game tomorrow, we got Giants and we got Panthers, 7:30 in the morning. This one is overseas. It is out of the country. Giants and Panthers, both doghouse teams. Pretty shitty game right here, but it is football as soon as we wake up tomorrow, so we'll get to watch football all day long. Right now, the Giants are favored at -6.5. Panthers are looking at +6.5 on the other side of things. Let's look into the matchup analysis real quick. Pull it up and look at all the main betting lines. The spread, like I just said, is at -6.5. It opened at -1.5. The Giants went from -1.5 point favorites to 6.5 point favorites. Why did that happen? Well, not really sure, because 68% of the public bets are on the Panthers to cover this spread, but 73% of that money is on the Giants. This one is very wonky. Typically, this doesn't happen where so many of the bets are on one team, but so much of the money is on the other team. So with all that money on the Giants, it actually grew a little bit, and that spread got bigger. So Giants are now 6.5 point favorites. I don't know if I'd necessarily like that pick. I'm going to say Panthers cover that spread. Giants win the game, but Panthers are going to cover that 6.5 point spread. That's a big spread for two shit teams, both 2-7. I don't really like that one. Just for your information, money line here, you got Panthers +224, looking at Giants -124. Sorry, -275 right there on the odds. -124 is what it opened at. Over in the under right now is sitting at 40.5. Points total on the game opened at 43.5. Let's go back. Now we're going to move into the Patriots and the Bears. If you're a Bears or Patriots fan, I'm sorry, they both suck. Yes, Bears fans, you suck. Not you, your team. So much hype over this Bears team, so much hype over this offense and the receivers. But what did I say at the beginning of the season? Caleb Williams is a rookie. Don't expect much. 4-4 is actually better than I thought they would be right now, and they're sitting last in the NFC North. Just like where they should be with a rookie quarterback that is a me player and he's all about himself. Let's save that for another video. Right now, Patriots +6, Bears 6-point favorites here. Looking at where the bets are, public is at 58% on the Bears as far as covering that spread. 62% of the money is on the Bears on the spread pick right there. I actually don't think that's too far off. I did say the Bears suck, but the Patriots suck worse. I don't know if Drake May is going to play. He did get hurt last week. I think he's going to play. Everything I've read says he is. But the key injuries, he's not in there. Looking at the injuries right here that they're giving us, so that's telling me he is. But I don't think it's a for sure done deal yet. But Bears are just going to be too much for the Patriots. I know the Patriots beat the Jets a couple weeks ago, fucked up our parlay, but they are not going to beat the Bears. I do think they cover that spread, though. Same thing with the Panthers game earlier. I do think the Patriots cover the 6-point spread. 6 points is a big spread when you're talking about the NFL. This is not college football, and the Bears are not good enough to warrant that type of spread. But I'm going to take Bears to win. Looking at the money line here, Patriots +224, Bears -275. Like I said, Bears should win this game. Over-under sitting at 38.5 points. It opened up at 42 points. The money down here is pretty heavily on the over. The percent of public bets on the over is extremely high, 87%. 66% of the money, though, so that's 2/3 of the money on the over, and the line is actually coming down. Something to note if you would like to follow line movement when you're placing your bets, I actually may take the under and adjust this back to what the opening line was at 42 and take that under, because with all that money going on the over and the line moving down, that tells us something. The sharps are betting it under. They're moving that line down. Don't always go with the public. Now we're into the Bills and Colts game. Right now, the Bills are the favorite, -206 odds on the money line to win. Colts +170 odds. Looks like it opened up a little bit different. Bills were -125, Colts +105. Things have changed a little bit. Now the Bills are 3.5 point favorites. The Colts 3.5 point dogs, obviously. Let's look where the bets are. 82% of the bets are on the Bills to cover that spread. 79% of the money on the Bills to cover that spread. My apologies. 93% of public bets are on the Bills to win. Money line just outright. 93% of the money also on Bills outright. Sorry, I'm stuttering over my words. I got my kid talking to me over here. All right, now we got 46.5 points for the over-under. All that money is on the over. 82% of it, at least, on the over. 77% of the public bets on the over. Look at where it's moved. Nowhere. Has not moved at all. 46.5 is where it started. 46.5 is where it stays. I'm going to say Bills win this game. I don't think there's going to be an upset on this one. Next game. These are just going to be the morning games, guys. Just so you know, this is the morning slate of games. I don't remember if I specified that earlier in this video. Now we have Vikings, Jaguars. Minnesota Vikings 6-2, Jaguars 2-7. Nobody really thought the Jags would suck this bad. Doug Peterson's about to get his ass fired at the end of the season. Line opened up at +4.5 for the Vikings. Now it's sitting at -6.5. I'm going to guess this opening line right here was probably in early September before we knew the Jaguars were going to suck. -6.5 for the Vikings right now. +6.5 for the Jaguars. 84% of public bets are on the Vikings to cover that spread. 89% of public money on the Vikings to cover that spread. This spread is one that I would not touch. Jaguars can pop off at any moment. They have talent. They have the ability to compete with anybody. And the Vikings, on the other hand, I think outplayed themselves the first 6 weeks of the season. Coming off 2 straight losses, I think they're kind of coming down to earth a little bit. I do believe that they are going to be a playoff team, but they're kind of coming down to earth, like I said. Jaguars could pop off at any moment and win a football game. We don't know. They got Trevor Lawrence, who one week is just incredible. He's Trevor Lawrence, and the next week he's Jamarcus Russell, for lack of a better term. So I'm not going to touch that spread. Opening on the money line right here was +160 for the Vikings, -189 for the Jags. Totally flipped, just like the spread. -323 for the Vikings now, +254 for the Jaguars. That's probably a pick that I'm also not going to touch, and if I do, I'm going to put like a half a unit on the Jaguars. Just looking at where all this money is, 90% of money on the Vikings. Sorry, 97% on the Vikings. 97% of public bets on the Vikings as well, and the line is moving in favor of the Vikings as it should. So there's not a bunch of line discrepancies there where which way the line's moving based on the money, but I just don't see the Vikings being that much of a favorite for over the Jaguars when talent level is pretty even, although result is not even so far this season. So the odds here just aren't enough for me to bet on the Vikings to win that. -323. You got to bet $323 to win 100. Not worth it for me. But on the other side of things, +254. As this gets closer to game time later on tonight, I may consider just as a fun bet putting $1 or something on the Jaguars. But I don't like that pick to actually bet on it on either of these two lines, the spread or the money line. The over/under I may look at. Over/under is one that you can always just find a good play on, depending on the league you're betting in, whether it's basketball, baseball, football. Over/under, if you don't like the spread or the money line, over/under is where you go to find a pick when the teams could be even or they could be completely lopsided. Sometimes when they're so far lopsided, the odds aren't worth betting on the money line, or if they're super even and you just can't decide who the better team is, over/under is a good way to find a pick. Opened up at 45.5. Right now it's sitting at 43.5, so you should anticipate all the money is on the under. Let's take a look. 73% of public bets are on the over. 58% of money is on the over, on the over as well. So this one's pretty split, 58% over, 42% under, but it is trending under. This is another one you may look to buy up to 45.5 to where the original line is and hit that under and smash that because it is moving down, trending downward with slight bit more money on the over. Now we are going to move into the Broncos and Chiefs. Is anybody going to beat the Chiefs this year? 8-0, looking to three-peat. Broncos 5-4, looking to show that they are for real, that they're here to hang with the big boys. I don't think they are. I think the Broncos are kind of in over their head this year. Had a good start, but they didn't really play anybody. Bo Nix is growing, though. That team's looking a lot better. Chiefs, actually the most unimpressive 8-0 team I've ever seen in my 34 years of life, but that's just my own personal opinion. I've seen a lot of good undefeated teams at 8-0. Chiefs are not that impressive as far as the roster goes, but they're winning. They're winning because they have a better defense now. Their offense is what I'm talking about. It's not that impressive. They don't have that, what am I trying to say, that dominant number one dude. For years, it's been Travis Kelce. Before that, it was Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Now they just don't have that dude. They haven't used Worthy like everybody thought they would. We'll see what they do, though. Chiefs are favored -7.5. 37% of the money is on, or the public bets are on the Broncos. 63% of the public bets are on the Chiefs for that spread. 50% of the money on Broncos, 50% on Chiefs. It's very 50-50 here. It opened up at -8.5. It is closing a little bit in favor of the Broncos, as now it's Chiefs -7.5. Then we're going to move over into the money line. Money line, Broncos +307. Okay, we got Chiefs -388. +307 would be a decent bet if you really love the Broncos. I don't love them to win this game. Although I am looking at this spread here, it's a division game. The Broncos beat the Chiefs last year, the last time they met, actually. Broke a long streak of Chiefs wins against the Broncos. I do like Broncos +7.5, but if I'm looking at this, I'd probably buy it back to +8.5, okay? +8.5, it's probably not going to be -112 odds anymore, but you're still going to get something that's better than -200 odds. I'm going to guess that's probably around -150 where it stands right now, just on what I know, my history and experience with sports betting. That's going to be my guess, around that range. So take a look at that Broncos spread. I'd stay away from the money line here unless you're going to parlay Chiefs victory with something else. If you're a degenerate and you like to throw a bunch of parlays together instead of straight bets. Over-under right now started at 41.5. It is still at 41.5. 86% of public bets are on the over. 73% of money from the public is on the over. So there's your info on the over-under there. Now let's bump it over here. We have 3 more games to cover, guys. Falcons and Saints. NFC South game. What are the Saints doing this year? Just trash. Started out with probably the best first 2 weeks as an offense that we've seen in years, and just absolutely tanked from there. Falcons 6-3, Saints 2-7. Falcons obvious favorites in this one based on record. -3.5 point favorites. What do you guys think about that one? 3.5 point favorites for the Falcons, sitting at 6-3. They are a good football team, but they're only giving 3.5 points. Where's the discrepancy there? Why are they not bigger favorites? I don't know. You guys tell me if you think you think that should be bigger, or if you think it's fair right where it's at. Personally, I would say that this should probably be around a 6-point spread, or at least 5.5. But right now it's at -3.5 in favor of the Falcons. Saints +3.5 here is at -109. 84% of public bets are on the Falcons. 82% of public money is on the Falcons. +160 odds for the Saints on the money line. Seems a bit off again, just like the spread. Atlanta's -191 odds on the money line. All the money here and all the bets are on the Falcons on that money line. I'm going to stay away from this one. It's just not something I really like, and I'm going to dive into. Over here is sitting at 46.5. Public bets, 82% of them are on the over. 71% of public money is on the over. If you guys are seeing a trend here, the public loves to hit the over. So if there's a good underplay, play that under. It's always under until it's not. Remember that. It could be 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's still under. If it's until it gets above the over, you may have 59 minutes of the under, and you might lose in that last minute. That happens, but it's always under till it's not. Now, 49ers versus Buccaneers. You got 49ers sitting at 4-4. The Buccaneers sitting at 4-5. The 49ers are getting Christian McCaffrey back. That should make their run game even more dynamic. Now they're going to have McCaffrey, Mason, Garendo, all of those dudes balling in the backfield. San Francisco -6.5. The Buccaneers are still without Chris Godwin. Mike Evans, I don't think there's been a complete decision on him yet, but Godwin is still out. So Buccaneers missing some playmakers. 49ers getting a playmaker back. Actually, the best playmaker in the NFL. In some eyes, he's at least top 5 playmakers in the NFL. But Buccaneers sitting at +6.5 here, guys. -107 odds on that. Money is pretty even here compared to most of those other games. 53% of the public bets are on the Niners. 64% of public money is on the Niners to cover that spread. Buccaneers, plus 6.5. It's hard to bet against the Bucs after seeing what they did with the Chiefs last week. They were in there till the end. You guys saw it ended in overtime. Actually, we won some big money on that game if you're a VIP member. Real quick, I'm just going to take a break. If you're in the VIPs, congratulations. We've had a good streak going right now. If you're not in the VIPs, you can get 3 free days. So basically that means you're going to get today's picks, Saturday's bets, Sunday's bets, and Monday's bets all for free. Just use code SCRIPT. There's a link in the description down below. That's going to get you all my VIP plays for three free days, and then you don't have to pay anything until after those 3 free days. Let me win you some money first, then you can be a regular VIP and start winning with us all the time. But there's a link in the description down below. Moving into the money line, plus 239 for the Buccaneers. That's not really good odds for them. San Francisco minus 298. The books obviously think that the 49ers are going to win this game. You start getting into mid 200s here on the odds. The books really don't think that's going to happen. 88% of public bets on the Niners money line. 74% of that money on the Niners as well. Then in the over-under, 50.5 points for the total. 71% of public bets are on the over. 61% of that money on the over. Again, public loves the over. Last game of the day here, of the early slate here, guys. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders. No, I'm not a Steelers fan. I just like saying it like that. Steelers are 6-2. Commanders 7-2. This one has a play that I actually really like. I'm not going to just blurt it out right now. See if you guys can figure it out. We got the line sitting at minus 1.5, whereas where it opened at for the Steelers. Now the Steelers are plus 2.5. Opened up at plus 1.5 for the Commanders. Now they're sitting at minus 2.5. So they basically just flip-flopped the odds they flip-flopped their spread lines. My bad. Sorry. Commanders minus 2.5 now, minus 119 odds. 66% of public bets are on the Steelers to cover this. 68% of that money on the Steelers to cover this. Over here on the money line is where things get a little interesting. Washington minus 146 odds to win. 70% of the public bets are on Washington to cover and win that money line. 52% of the money is on Washington here, only 48% on Pittsburgh. So a lot of people are taking Washington because that's actually pretty damn good odds for a favorite to be had on the money line. Pittsburgh at plus 123, also very good odds in a game that's this tight, 2.5 point spread. What do you guys think is going to happen? You taking Pittsburgh or are you taking Washington in a pick'em? I think Pittsburgh wins this football game. I'm just going to say it right now. Based on the matchup, based on what we've seen lately from Russell Wilson, he's starting to look more like Seattle Russ. George Pickens is starting to ball out. That Pittsburgh defense is mean. I love that Pittsburgh defense. No, again, I'm not a Steelers fan. I actually hate the Steelers, but I like the way they play on D. I'm going to take the Steelers to win this one, guys. That's going to be my free pick for you guys. I'm going to give that to all my members, my free pick members tomorrow, and my VIPs. Pittsburgh money line over the Commanders. You can get the free picks all to your phone. Same link as the VIPs down there. Just pick the free subscription. You'll get all my free plays to your phone, and you get access to the free Discord. Moving on to the over-under, guys. Over 45 points is where it's at. Over-under 45 points is where it sits. Minus 110 on the over, minus 110 on the under. And again, the public loves the over. 83% of the bets on the over. 89% of the money on the over for this one. There you have it, guys. There's your morning slate. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give you guys all the main lines for all the NFL morning slate games tomorrow, where they stand, and let you know a little bit about what I think of each game. Again, the free pick for tomorrow is Pittsburgh Steelers money line. Lock that one in. I'll see you at the tellers. Have a good night, guys. If you like this video, you like my style, hit that subscribe button. Join the army. We're building an army to go against the sportsbook. It's us versus them. Let's win. See y'all next time.